Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of Hatching for Health, where our mission is to create a platform for people to tell their story, to educate the public, and to build a more compassionate community. And I'm your host, Jessica Hatch. And today we're diving into a really important and often overlooked topic, men's health. And joining me, we have Jarett and Amena, the owners of Gameday Men's Health, along with nurse practitioner Monica Harvey, their incredible clinic director. With multiple clinic locations all over Houston, Gameday Men's Health is helping men feel stronger, more energized, and more confident through customized care. Their mission is all about helping men live their best lives, inside and out. So I'm excited to have them here on the show and can't wait to hear how they're transforming men's health in such a positive way. Thank you guys for being here.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Yeah,
thank you for having us.
It was lovely meeting you at I think a recent event, and it's so incredible what you guys are doing. And I know that there's options out there, but I think y'all's option is really well diversified on all the things that you offer. So tell me a little bit about how you got started.
Well, you know, a little background about me. I've been in corporate America my whole life, and when that ended, I was really looking for something new to get into. Looked into a franchise, and this franchise spoke to me because once you start going through all of the things that we are helping men with, I noticed that I needed a lot of these offers as well. So
really? Okay.
It really was a great fit, right?
Right.
So I was able to dive right in and help myself and understand the journey that men are taking when they come to see us.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And how did you guys connect? 'Cause I know there's the two of you, and I believe your husband also works for the company. But did y'all meet and start this together when you found out about the franchise?
So my background actually has been in healthcare operations. So I've worked for large companies when the new hospitals being built, the patient environment, operation side of things. And I really felt that the healthcare system in the US was broken. And it's always about the healthcare, the business side of healthcare, and not so much about the patient. When I found this opportunity, it just made so much sense to me that, you know, the focus with everything we do is about the patient first. And our founder, Evan Miller, is the first to you know, talk about that. And that's why he started this company, that, you know, we wanted to be able to take care of people first. So we dove into the Houston market, and we were able to kind of get a couple of territories. And when we started building those out, we met Jarett, and Jarett had already got his territory, and he was we had, you know, met him because he was a franchisee as well.
Okay, so you had already started one, and then y'all were looking into it, and then met and started to do some of these together in addition to, okay, and kind of came together, I guess, on the one you already had as well.
Right. So when you start, the interesting thing about franchises, when you start working and building your own business, you meet the other owners and really understand that in order for us to really grow this the right way,
right,
we need to come together, and we can do a lot more as a cohesive unit than individually. So when Amena and her husband and I really start talking about how can we grow what we are putting out as individual units, if we come together, we can really grow a stronger brand,
Of course, and y'all have done that. Y'all have a few locations already with more, you know, we'll talk about, but on the books to open as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so tell me, with men, because, you know, they're just known to not want to go to the doctor in general. And so obviously this is, you know, a lot of what you do is very different because it's helping them in ways that's not just about like, well, some things may be wrong, it needs to get fixed, or I just want to improve my overall like well-being. So like what kind of barriers do you find that like stop them from coming in? Like what kind of prevents them?
Yeah, the number one thing probably, and Amena and I were talking about it just a little while ago, is education, right? So all women were told at some point in your youth, in your, you know, junior high, what's going to happen with your body and, you know, the hormonal changes that are going to happen. Men were never educated with that. So we go through life, just our bodies are changing and we don't know why. So we don't look for a solution at a place like this, or you know, you just start going around saying, I'm tired, I don't, my libido is off, I don't have the energy I want to have. So that's the biggest thing, is education stops them from coming in. And then, you know, maybe their ego prevents them to come in as well because, hey, I could figure this out on my own. So we see a lot of that with the men coming in the clinic.
Okay.
A lot of times men just live their lives thinking they're getting old. and this is to be expected. Like as women, we're told that as we, start aging, we're to expect a couple of changes in our body, like Jarett mentioned. Men don't even know that their bodies, that it's a thing. And so what's great about Gameday is that it's a medical clinic that only addresses men's issues. And it's very focused on men's well-being and health. And a lot of people just just accept that this is how they're going to feel as they age.
Right. So what would you say is like the most common thing men, enter your doors with? Like what kind of
I would say the first thing is fatigue. That's
Okay.
the first thing we hear from people, is that they just feel they have those midday crashes and brain fog, poor sleep, just overall general, just not feeling their best.
Okay. And Jarett, what is that typically tied to, like that causation?
Yeah, so it usually leads to the determination that maybe their testosterone is low. So that's why we have them come in and do a free testosterone test and consultation.
Okay.
But that fatigue leads to lack of motivation. It can lead to libido issues. It can lead to brain fog. There's a lot. The guy usually walks in talking about fatigue, but if you have the conversation long enough, they'll start hitting other issues, and we'll say, hey, you're here, let's get you tested and see if we can find a solution.
Okay, so that test is something that y'all do kind of on the house to just get that baseline understanding of if that's, the problem. What else do you do? Is there any other kind of like diagnostic testing that gets ordered in that early?
So typically when a patient comes in, we draw blood. We have an in-house lab. We're checking for your testosterone levels, your prostate health, your blood thickness. We get your results in about 15 minutes.
Oh, nice.
We then meet the provider to go over medical history, symptoms, and see if this is a fit. So we're able to do that all in that first meeting.
That's great. Having the blood work, be able to be looked at that quickly. Everything's usually like, 72 hours later, we'll call with your results. So
Yep.
to be able to come in and get it drawn and then go into the room to talk about it is really good. So it's like in-house labs.
Right.
Okay.
It's in-house labs, and you have to, again, you start the conversation with how do we get men in and how do we get them to take advantage of this service. Men want we don't want to come 4 times, right? We want to do this all at one time.
Right.
So we have to give you some sort of results
Yeah.
immediately, so you have an idea of where you're at and what I need to do next. Now, we do send those labs out, that blood work out for a full lab panel.
Okay.
But we get, as Amena mentioned, we get those first 3 aspects. We get that information right up front, so we can say, hey,
Yeah.
here's where you're at. Here's what services we have that can help you, offset some of these symptoms.
Of course. So what would you say makes y'all like different than other clinics that, I guess focus on men, like places like I've heard of in the past, like they're low T driven, they're, very specific in that capacity, but like what would you say makes y'all different?
I would say the fact that we don't accept insurance is a big driver on how we address care for our patients. Everything we do is customized treatments for our patients. A lot of times insurance companies kind of dictate as to how you will be treated, which is why we kind of stay away from that. And all of our programs are really catered to the patient. And how we can help you get there. We treat symptomatic, we treat symptoms, and we're not just looking at your lab numbers. So those are an indicator of what what your symptoms are and how we can help you get there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, sometimes just dealing with insurance and approvals and things just delays it all. And, with men, the patience is already like, I'm here, let's just figure it out and, and move forward. So I think that helps out a lot. And I guess for men like listening and stuff today, like, what would you tell them, maybe the fatigue thing, but just other things that you guys focus on to want to come in for?
So we offer 5 primary services: testosterone replacement therapy that we talked about, peptide therapy, weight loss, sexual wellness, ED medicines and modalities, and then vitamin injections. So the idea that they walk into our clinic because of fatigue or libido, it could be there could be a solution in any one of those offerings that can maybe address it. So you don't want to walk in with the notion that, hey, I'm tired, I need testosterone. Well, that's why we want you to talk to the clinician and really understand what are the symptoms, what are we really trying to fix. And the one thing Amena mentioned, I would tag on to on what makes us different is she talked about the customized treatments. We really are trying to get that person's symptoms addressed, right? We're not here to just fix numbers. And if you fixate on a number, you'll go down a road that
Right,
that
'cause
won't.
everyone's different, yeah.
Everyone's different. So someone could be perfectly fine and have all the energy they need at a 700 testosterone, whereas somebody else needs to be 1,000, right? Or vice versa.
Yeah,
So.
I think my husband needs to come in and see y'all. I'm like, yeah, it's interesting the different approaches. Like when I think about urologist, he's gone to see them, and it's I guess when you're talking about like IVF related stuff, which maybe I can touch on with y'all, it's like there's certain things you don't want to do because it's affecting your sperm, and so that's probably always a conversation. You're like, is this something in your future? Tell me a little bit about that and the education that kind of goes with that with a client that is trying to conceive with their wife, but yet is having those kind of fatigues. What approach do y'all take there?
So we have a very detailed consultation with the medical provider at our clinic. And that's when you're having that conversation where she's asking you, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? What prompted you to even look at a service like this? And if it is fertility, and if it is, we have solutions for that as well.
Okay.
So really, we really want to understand what, where you want to be and, how we can help you get there.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, because I know that that's something that, it has to be definitely tailored a little bit differently until they get that child they're looking for. And then, you can kind of go back to some of the other approaches, which is what he had to do. He's like, did the HCG and stuff for a while, but it previously was on like, testosterone options. It's just like big difference,
Big difference.
And like,
Yep.
and once you've done testosterone, you try and do HCG, it's like your levels might show like you're saying one thing, but you still don't feel the way that you felt,
I mean, I've seen patients come to my clinic and I've seen how their lives have changed. I mean, we have wives, children coming up to us and thanking us because their dad or their husband came back.
Yeah.
I mean, if I've seen patients come in that with, their head hanging low and now they're just different humans.
That's fantastic.
And it's just, that's what really kind of drives me every day, and that's what motivates me to do what we do. Because, and that's again another way I feel that we're different from other clinics, because we really do want to create that environment where people feel safe and comfortable coming in. We understand that it takes guts to walk through our doors.
Right.
It takes guts to understand that yes, there's an issue, and I'm going to do something to fix this.
I agree.
And so when somebody comes in, we recognize that, and we want to create that very comfortable environment where they can speak with the provider and talk about, what are the things that are bothering them. Sometimes these men can't talk to their spouses about it.
Right.
They feel unsafe.
Gives them a comfortable place and that privacy to be able to explore what's going to really help them. So we do have to take a commercial break, but when we come back, I know we'll be joined by your medical director, Ms. Howard. But before we continue, I do want to share a truly special way to give back this holiday season. The Hatching for Health Foundation has partnered with the Light Park for their first ever Light Park Drive and donate this upcoming Tuesday. You can head to any Light Park Houston location Tuesday evening. They have Typhoon, Texas and Katy, Hurricane Harbor and Spring, or Sam Houston Race Park. You can bring a toy for a child in need and enjoy the magic of the park from the comfort of your car. You'll drive through this beautifully lit displayed experience and have a wonderful holiday season, all while helping children in the community. So let's come together and make this holiday season unforgettable for these kids. Join us on Tuesday, November 25th, and be a part of something truly special. Visit thelightpark.com to buy your tickets.
Your private practice deserves more than sticky notes and missed calls. Funnel Cake MD is the HIPAA-compliant growth platform built for doctors and dentists. Manage calls, texts, and emails in one secure inbox. Book more patients, cut the admin chaos, and keep your front desk sane. Try it free for 14 days with full white glove onboarding so you're running smooth from day one. Don't let outdated software hold you back. Sweeten your growth with Funnelcake MD. Start your free trial now at funnelcakemd.ai.
Funnelcake MD, all-in-one tool to grow your practice.
No one plans to be in an accident. Big truck wrecks, car wrecks, and drunk drivers can cause catastrophic injuries, brain damage, amputations, and death. These cases require aggressive, tough lawyers. With over 100 years of experience, Thomas N. Thurlow and Associates will fight to get you what you deserve. There's no upfront cost, no obligation unless we win, and you pay nothing out of pocket. Call today to get the justice that's owed to you.
In 2020, I was going to work and the stairs of my apartment broke, and I went 20 feet through, breaking my back in 2 places and 5 discs herniated. I was scared, alone. After meeting Dr. Remy Nader and his staff, it got me back to not only the dad I used to be, but the person I used to be too.
At the International Center for Neuroscience, we take pride in providing you second opinions for your brain or spine problems. I'm Dr. Remy Nader, board-certified neurosurgeon. Let me help you get your life back.
Welcome back from the commercial break. If you've just joined us, we are here with Gameday, which is a men's clinic here in Houston and other locations in the surrounding areas. And we have been speaking with Jarett and Amena, and now we are joined by their nurse practitioner, Monica Harvey. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, it's been lovely learning about these clinics, and I love that they're not just like one location. You know, everyone wants convenience, and when you have the option here in Katy or the option here in Houston, it makes a big difference.
It does.
So tell me, how long have you been a part of the organization?
I've been with Gameday now for almost 9 months.
Okay, fantastic. And what did you do before? Was it similar?
I worked for another HRT clinic, so I've been a nurse practitioner for a while. But yes, I've been doing HRT for about 5 years now.
Okay, when you say HRT, is that?
Hormone replacement therapy, which is what our clinic does.
Okay, okay, very good. So tell me about a client comes in to meet with you, and kind of what's that initial conversation like? You're almost like a therapist, you know, with some of them, getting them to open up on what their concerns are, I bet.
So they come in, they have their lab work done, and then they come back to the office with me, and I just kind of open the floor for us to kind of explore what's been going on, what are their feelings, what are their symptoms like, and I try to make it as natural and as easy as possible, because it's not always easy to talk about things like this.
Of course.
So we just talk about what their symptoms are like, how long have those symptoms been going on, and then once I get their levels, I can validate that, especially if they're a candidate for treatment because their levels qualify them. I can kind of validate why you're feeling tired, why you've been fatigued, why you're having the brain fog, why your libido is low, because your hormones have been out of balance, and you just didn't know.
Yeah, and it's, I think, or we were talking earlier, and I think when people think hormones, they're thinking so much about women, when it's like men have all these things going on too that just have to be truly addressed.
Yes.
So with these individuals, because it's mostly men, I mean, I know that I don't think you'll turn away a woman, but it's mostly men focused coming in and trying to kind of understand their concerns. So tell me about the different hormone replacements and what, I know we talked a little bit before the break, but just from your kind of medical standpoint.
So, like you said, men and women both have hormones. Men's primary hormone is testosterone, where ours is estrogen, but we both cross and we have both. So when we're talking to these gentlemen, when they come in, like as Jarett stated, we're going to draw their total testosterone. That's that big number that we look at. We're going to draw their PSA, which is their prostate antigen, and we're going to look at their hemoglobin and hematocrit, which, like Amena said, is that blood thickness. So those are the primary numbers that we look at when we talk about initiating treatment. And if those are out of range, then we go forward and we do more treatment. So it's basically looking at those numbers and seeing where you are, because there is a range, and it's a wide range. Generally, I don't want to give a number, but it's a range.
Right.
And we look at that range, and based on that range and your symptoms, which you're telling me, then we know, okay, yeah, this person is a candidate for treatment.
Of course. And so do you personally, do you work out of multiple locations of Gameday, or are you set at one location?
I work primarily out of the downtown location.
The downtown, okay. And remind me, so the 3 that you guys currently have are downtown,
Memorial and Katy.
and Memorial and Katy. Okay, yeah, that covers a lot of like radius.
Radius.
It's like you think Memorial and you're like, oh, that's not far from Katy, but it's far enough where people aren't going to go there. They want their
And
own.
it depends on what time of day they're trying to get there.
They want their own. Are you guys like Monday through Saturday, Monday through Friday? What are y'all's hours in offering services?
So Katy currently is open Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Memorial is open Monday, Wednesday, Saturday.
Okay.
And
Downtown is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday as well.
Okay, so they're all 3 days a week, just different days that are offered. Okay. How often would you say a patient comes in, they get started on the blood work and the evaluation and they actually start some sort of treatment that day? Is that common, or is it usually, we know what you need, you do?
Fairly common.
Okay.
Because I feel like the gentlemen get validated for their feelings. It's not just like there's something wrong with me. It's now I know why there's something wrong with me.
Right.
So we do generally initiate treatment. As long as they're a candidate and everything looks good, we initiate treatment that day.
Okay.
We send off a panel of blood work, and at their next visit, we'll go over that panel with them, and we'll talk about what their weekly dose will look like, and then they'll stay on that weekly dose generally for the next 6 weeks, and then we'll do labs again so that we can see where you started off initially and where that 6-week treatment period has got you to.
Okay.
And keep in mind, as we talked about earlier, it's a big step for the guy to come in. I'm gonna say the majority of times, guys they've had this thought and had this desire to come in and seek help. They kept putting it off. So when we get them in the clinic, we really, and Monica used a great word, validate. We want to validate what's going on with them, have them really trust that this service is right for them, and let's start now. We don't want them leaving and going to think about it and getting in their head, right? Let's just start now and get going. Because it takes a lot, I'm going to use the right word. It's a bold move for them to come in.
Yeah.
I mean, the process really starts with a person maybe for years, where they're thinking about it. Like Jarett said, like when I was getting into this business, my husband at the same time was trying to find testosterone. It took him 6 months to get it. And that's exactly what at Gameday Men's Health we try to avoid.
Yeah.
And
you're not looking for someone in your network with your insurance company. You can just walk in.
So when somebody walks in through our doors, they've already thought about it, they've done their research, they know what the issue is, and they just want to validate if this is the root cause of their problems. So we're very proud of the fact that we can offer them treatment that day. I mean, why delay another day?
Right. No, I think that's great. So Monica, tell me, is this something that a client is coming in, or a patient I should say, for like what's typically the length of span of time that they're coming in as an ongoing patient?
So that's totally up to the individual. Generally, this is more of an elective treatment, but it is addressing the symptoms and how they're actually feeling. So a patient can start and be on this lifelong, or they can decide that they wanted to come off treatment. So generally, most of our patients come in once a week for their injections, and they're in and out after they've initiated treatment. 5 minutes, you come in, you get your shot, you're out. Longer appointments are on maybe lab days, or if you need to talk to me or the other nurse practitioner at the other clinics, that would take a little bit more time. But generally, they're in and out once they initiate treatment.
Okay.
And then they're on it for as long as they want to be. Generally, what I tell my patients is once you start to feel better. You're going to feel the difference. And that's why we do that retest at 6 weeks, because I really want to know where you've come from and how far we can still continue to push till you get to where you feel optimal.
Right.
But if you go off of it, your body's generally going to go back to where you were when you came in, because that's just the natural progression of where you are.
Of course. So is there anything to be concerned about medically? Like, should they just stay on it and it become like a part of their, their life, like where they're a continuous client?
That's definitely a patient choice. And we talk about all that. I try to give them as comfortable as as I can get them with talking about it and being open, because I try to develop a partnership with our patients at our clinic. I want you to know that I'm your healthcare partner. I'm not just the provider. It's a partnership. I don't make all the decisions about your healthcare. Ultimately, you make the decision. I tell you what's safe and what's appropriate within my scope, and then we talk about it and you make the decision. So I explain treatment to you, I explain how it works, and then we
But
go
there's
from
no
there.
like long-term effects that they need to be concerned with, as long as you're keeping up with checking their blood work and making sure
That's what the
nothing's out of
monitoring.
line. Okay.
That's what the monitoring
So they
is
can
for.
continue, you know, for as long as they basically want to, and things of that
And
nature.
that's the beauty of what we are offering to the patient is you're under medical supervision, right? We all know someone that has purchased something online or
Right.
is getting something from their buddy at the back of the gym and putting themselves at risk.
Right, right.
And you have no oversight into what's going into your body and how your body's changing. You're only talking to someone else who had this experience or that experience. And of course, we talked about everybody's different. So come in, you're under supervision, and we're checking your labs continually to make sure, you know, everything is on the up and up and everything looks good. So.
That's
And
great.
Gameday Men's Health has about 400 clinics open today.
Wow.
And so, you know, we have a lot of aggregated data that we use at a corporate level to build out our
That's
protocols.
incredible, yeah.
We only practice medicine in the most safest, most efficient manner possible. I mean, a lot of times in testosterone clinics, it's often left to the providers, what they feel like how you should be treated. It's an opinion, or it's based on medical things, but but there's a lot of gray area there.
Right.
But with Gameday, we have a lot of we're servicing over how many 100,000 million people?
Yeah. at least.
Yeah, 400 clinics.
Yeah.
That really. So tell me before we have to wrap up. Well, how can people? I know they can walk in through your door, but online, is it Men's Health or mensclinic.com, or where exactly is your website and social media?
So you can go to gamedaymenshealth.com and you can search for a location. You can go to gamedaymenshealth.com/Houston.
Okay.
That narrows it down to the Houston locations. But you definitely can find us online. You can find our social media. Most of us at this point have a self-scheduling link on our website, or you can book an appointment. We'll reach out to you. But you definitely can call, you can email, you can text, you can walk in. We will take you any way you want to come.
Yeah, I love it. Well, it's so great to have you guys and to learn more about this, because it's something that every man should know. So I hope many tune in to learn and come check you guys out.
Awesome. Thank you
you
very
for
much.
having
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you all for tuning in. But before we wrap up today's episode, it's time for one of our favorite moments, our weekly Golden Egg Raffle. This week's Golden Egg prize is extra exciting. We're giving away 2 tickets to the Houston Texans game on December 14th. And to make it even better, the Hatching for Health Foundation will pick you up in our luxury Mercedes Sprinter van, take you to the game in a true VIP style, and bring you home safely afterward. It's going to be an unforgettable Texans experience. So to enter, just send us a direct message on Instagram or Facebook at Hatching for Health and let us know that you'd like to be a part of this week's Golden Egg Raffle. And before we go, I want to remind you, now as we head into Thanksgiving week, we want to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving filled with love, gratitude, and family. And thank you for watching and for being a part of the Hatching for Health family. I'm Jessica Hatch, and we'll see you right here next week on the Hatching for Health show.